Thank you, Adam, for everything you've done so far. I kindly ask people to sit down to respect our speakers who made a lot of efforts to be here this evening. Shh. So first of all, thank you to the hostages' families for making the efforts. I think you inspired all of us before we get into the other topics of the day. So one of the things that Adam said, he referred to the fact that President Trump's trip last week is a true driver behind expansion of the Abraham Accords and helping Israel to develop more economic and commercial relationship with its neighbors. Our two friends here, Nili Shalev and Mark Bailen, represent the new face of the Middle East. Nili Shalev is the head of Israel Export Institute, working very hard to bring Israel to the world, and she's been the face of Israel's economy for many, many years. And Mark is the legal counsel to TV Abraham, a fantastic new venture which brings media, new media to the Middle East around some of the topics we discussed through the day. So the first question to you, Nili, there is so much noise and buzz around the new Middle East, and one of the things that people always wonder, what's the gap between the noise and reality? What Israeli companies see on the ground? What Emirates, Saudi, and other companies see on the ground? Please share with us, kind of from your perspective, the true growth story from the last 2 years.
So definitely there is before Abraham Accords and after Abraham Accords, and I think that before, it was a very limited economic engagement, and I think that after Abraham Accords, especially with the UAE, but things have changed dramatically. It's a strategically important agreement, not only from a geopolitical level, but also from an economic perspective. I think, though, the potential, we're just scratching the potential. Israeli companies are working in the region for years, but I think the potential of these agreements is huge. And again, as I said before, we're just scratching the surface of it.
Terrific. And by the way, if you're interested in learning more and more about that, I'm sure that Nili will be happy to talk to you and the audience here after the panel. Mark, you've been working very hard to create a new media company that tells a different story in the Middle East and kind of bringing all the neighbors together. Please tell the audience here what TV Abraham is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and first of all, it's really great to be here. Today has been really a fascinating day and really truly inspiring. So TV Abraham is part of a company called World Herald Tribune, which we started about 5 years ago. It's a US-based company, and its first publication in print was the Jerusalem Strategic Tribune, which is a journal covering politics and international affairs around the world, but particularly in the Middle East. We have some of the leading scholars, writers, and thinkers about Middle East affairs who publish almost daily in our online and print magazine. But most recently, we launched TV Abraham, and before I get to that, actually, the founder and the CEO and chairman of World Herald Tribune is Mr. Ahmed Sharai. And Mr. Sharai is a staunch supporter of Israel. He was instrumental in helping with the original Abraham Accords and leading Arab and Muslim countries to peace with Israel and fostering dialogue. And I think he saw at the end of the first Trump administration the momentum that the Abraham Accords had. He's based in Morocco, and Morocco was one of the right at the very end of the Trump administration, you may recall, was a signatory to the Abraham Accords, and he saw that momentum. And what he sees now is, with the second administration, that this is an opportunity. It's a real turning point, and there's an opportunity to expand, and TV Abraham is meant to cover, to provide a platform for
and where people can, if people here want to watch it,
yes,
see the,
we want everyone to watch it. It's at tvabraham.com right now. It's also on social media, TV Abraham on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter or X, and TikTok.
Terrific.
And we're also looking at opportunities to further distribute through cable and other distribution channels.
Excellent. So you can watch TV Abraham and learn more about what this whole new Middle East actually means, and then you go to Neely and you're trying to take it to the next level and to build more bridges. And then the question is, many people wonder what's the impact of President Trump's new tariff policies on the region and, of course, Israeli companies. Is this an issue for your partners, for your companies?
It's definitely an issue. I think it's an issue not only for Israel, and I think that the changes that have been made recently puts Israel in a relatively okay position, because tariffs have gone down for 10%. Of course, Israel and the US had a free trade agreement with 0% tariffs, customs, and so it does have an impact. But we need to remember that the strength of the Israeli economy, it's its high-tech industry, and the high-tech industry is not influenced by the tariffs. So the high-tech industry, its services, its software, tariffs are only put on physical goods. So most of the Israeli exports is high-tech, but still manufacturing and goods are impacted, and I hope that we'll be able to compete in the US market.
I think, Neely, you really raised the critical component that quite often people kind of miss the point when they talk about economic policies and the future of the Israeli economy, the fact that things have changed in Israel and most of the products and definitely services are not actually impacted by the many new economic and trade policies. So we have to keep it in mind. Mark, you're now, you spend a lot of time with media companies. You're an attorney specializing in First Amendment and media law. One of the main things that everybody's talking about these days is what is the future of media in a world where truth is questionable, AI changes the way we actually create news. In politics, we have many Israeli politicians here, American politicians here tonight. So when you think about the TV Abraham project or similar projects you've been involved with, what do you have to do today in order to make sure that our viewers here consume the kind of TV and the news that you want them to consume?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, Ephraim. You know, it's interesting. Mr. Sharai would always say that the extremists are the ones who scream the loudest. And so it's really critical, and it's a mission of TV Abraham to elevate the voices of reason, to get to the facts that support the truth in the matter. And so for us, that's one of our critical endeavors, and we have journalists in Washington that are covering the Capitol Hill and the Washington political issues, and we are also going to be expanding throughout the world to have journalists on the ground who can report what they see and what they hear, because ultimately it's the viewers, what people see and what they hear and what they believe that will lead to peace.
Neely, the next big item here is, of course, the potential normalization with Saudi Arabia. And quite often when people talk about bringing companies to Saudi Arabia and the other way around, they talk about cultural differences in terms of pace and time and the way people negotiate. We heard from people here earlier today what it means to negotiate certain deals in the region. If you had to, obviously we can talk about it forever, if you had to pick one thing based on your experience recently at the UAE and other countries, what can Israeli companies do better? What individuals can do better to increase their success in the region?
I think that for Israeli companies, definitely they need to see the long-term partnership. And Israeli companies sometimes are look at short term, looking for deals, for fast deals, and it's not the case. They need to look at it as a long-term partnership, both in the UAE and in Saudi. Again, there is activity going on, but I think that in Saudi and in the region, the potential is huge.
Right, but
We
we
need
have to be
take
patient
it
and long
step
term.
by step. We need to build the connections. We need to deliver what we offer and what we put on the
Terrific.
table. And I think that once it's done, it can transform the Israeli economy and it can transform the region.
Thank you. Mark, last question to you. Obviously, there are many potential partners here in this amazing adventure that you're part of. What's your message to people here and around the world? What kind of partnerships you're looking for to build a better Middle East or a new Middle East?
Yeah, no, thank you so much for that question, because we actually been, the outpouring of support has been fantastic. AJC, the Atlantic Council, all these organizations have endeavored to partner with us, and we are partnering with them. And for me, you know, I have a full-time legal practice, but this is something where I have found to be so invigorating that I'm dedicating my work to help run the organization in addition to the legal work I do. And people have asked if they can donate, which we can't do right now, but we're going to set up a nonprofit arm and a foundation to support that.
Thank you. I encourage everyone to be part of this fascinating story. Nili Shalev, Mark Bailen, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.